What's up guys, welcome to part 2 of the top 20 best Mario Kart retro tracks. So obviously if you didn't watch the first part, well you might want to do that first. Just click here, okay? Now 20 to 11 were pretty cool retro tracks, but the following 10 are the best ever. Well, in my opinion at least. I'm still joined by the Mario Kart master himself, Nathaniel Bandy, for this list.
Hey, so is it okay if I do your intro this time?
No, sure, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Nathaniel.
And I'm Nico.
And here's our top 10 best Mario Kart retro tracks.
Typically, in most Mario Kart tracks, you and the other racers are the only vehicles on the track, but not on Toad's Turnpike, where you're actually racing on a busy, crowded highway. You'll have to maneuver through traffic, avoiding buses, cars, trucks, and the typical Mario Kart hazards like banana peels, shells, and much more. This track was brought back in Mario Kart 8 and adds a way of avoiding the traffic altogether more easily by racing on the freaking wall using anti-gravity. Although being very cool, it's actually slower than going through the normal track, so are you gonna play it safe or play it fast? In the Mario Kart 8 remake, there are new cars with surfing planks that you can use to jump, and also giant trucks with boosts at the end, giving you the perfect opportunity to glide, and I think that's pretty cool.
You know, nothing is quite relaxing like a good day at the beach. The TROOPA Beach. This track features many cool elements, like a rock shaped like a TROOPA, a shortcut that you can only get to using a mushroom, and a giant rock shaped like a shell that you can jump above using a speed pad. The Mario Kart 7 remake has all those elements, but improves on them by adding the underwater driving part. No longer do you want to avoid going in the water to slow down. These new karts are equipped with underwater propellers, so you're all good. The shortcut has been slightly nerfed, not giving you as much of an advantage as the N64 one, but it's still super fun to use.
Mario Kart DS has some pretty cool tracks, but no track were as original as TOCK. This track is referring to the level of the same name in Super Mario 64, and it features the same elements too, you know, clocks, pendulums, and cogs everywhere. This is such a fun track to play on, and when I knew they were going to bring it back from Mario Kart 8, I was crazy excited. And it didn't disappoint me. It brought back everything that made the original good and improved and made it way better. Also, it looks stunning in HD. The new mechanics that were added, such as some parts where you can use the glider, changed the way you play the track, but overall it's the same exact track, just sexier and better.
This next track is one of the few that appeared twice as a retro track, once in Mario Kart DS and once in Mario Kart 8. It doesn't matter the version you play this track on, Yoshi Circuit is one heck of an adventure. First of all, let me point out that this track is shaped like a Yoshi, which is pretty impressive. I mean, the fact that they made out a track in the shape of a Yoshi, isn't that cool? The music used on this track is also pretty upbeat and makes everything better. The Wii U version added a little city close to the start of the track, and it adds a little something that was lacking in the other versions of this track. A Yoshi track is pretty cool, but now that it's an inhabited Yoshi track with a little workshop for cars, it feels so alive!
This next track is probably the most unoriginal design for a track ever. It is Baby Park from Mario Kart Double Dash. Now, what makes this track fun isn't its layout, as I mentioned, it's just a donut-shaped track. No, what makes it fun is the crazy amount of stuff happening at once. I mean, since the track is so small, green shells, banana peels, bombs, and other gizmos will fly everywhere. This track was brought back in Mario Kart 8 and added the anti-gravity driving mechanic on all of this track, meaning that bumping on other players will give you a small boost, making everything even crazier. You have to drive, you have to dodge, you have to drift, and you have so much things to do at once. And since you're usually catching up on other slower players, you never know who's closest to you and who has a lap behind, which confuses me so much.
Next up on the list, we have the Airship Fortress from Mario Kart DS. It was brought back in all of its glory in Mario Kart 7. I really like this track because it feels like a little adventure. You first start on a castle, only to make your way on top of a flying airship, dodging bullet bills and moles, and then you go down a path only to be greeted by two dangerous flame pillars that you have to avoid. Then, you're shot out of a cannon and it starts all over again. I guess this track is supposed to be based off the airship levels from Super Mario Bros. 3, and I guess that's why it's super fun to me, as I really enjoy this game. I wish the track was a little bit longer, as I feel that the laps go by a little too quickly, and they could have added a few more obstacles, but still, it's a pretty cool track.
I'll start off by letting you know that I am a fan of Bowser Castle's tracks. Like, literally all of them. The old ones, the newer ones, everyone! And my favorite retro Bowser Castle track has to be the N64 Bowser's Castle remix. This track is pretty cool, leading you through many rooms of Bowser's Castle, asking you to dodge twumps and avoid falling down in the lava pits. After making your way through the castle, you end up in Bowser's very own garden, which is very empty. I mean, you should plant some trees or fruits, dude. After that, you cross a very dangerous bridge and go back on Bowser's castle ceiling. Seriously, all Bowser castles are little adventures in themselves, and I guess that's why they're so high on my list. You know, as a kid, this track confused me deeply. Most Mario Kart tracks were pretty straightforward. You start on point A and follow the track until you reach point B. That's it. But Yoshi's Valley has different plans for you. As soon as you start the race and turn left, you see many paths opening up for you. Which one should you take? Which one's the fastest? All those questions, but no answers. And that's exactly what was mind-blowing for this track. You never knew if you were doing good or bad, since the N64 couldn't tell you. Sadly, in the remix, this Wii U is now most powerful enough to tell you your position at all time, which removes some of the charm this track once had, but it's still an amazing track to me. I mean, the multiple paths, the giant Yoshi egg you got to avoid, the dangerous patch where you can fall down to your doom, those are all elements that explain why this track is so high on the list. This next track is Ribbon Road, and it comes from Mario Kart Super Circuit on the GBA. Back then, it was a pretty typical track, featuring a road made out of a red ribbon with a couple little jumps here and there, but then it made its transition to the 3D world in Mario Kart 8. Whoa, look at that, that's impressive. This track totally looks different in this version. In fact, if they did not mention it was GBA Ribbon Road, they may have fooled me into thinking it was actually a brand new Mario Kart 8 track. This track looks like you race inside a kid's room playing aside his toys. The amount of detail put into this track is just astonishing. There's a little Rosalina colored castle grid holding the track. Or did you notice the Yarn Yoshi amiibo appearing in the background? Did I mention the Koopa clone Jack in the Box? Or the Toad toys scattered all over the place? This is an amazing track, and it looks nothing like the original track, and for once, that's what makes it so amazing. Few are the tracks that made a return in the retro tracks twice. I mean, if a track is gonna come back 2 times and appear overall in 3 different Mario Kart games, it better be one heck of a good track. Well, that's the case with SNES Rainbow Road that made a return in both Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8. And let me tell you, it is an amazing track in both of those games. The track in itself is pretty simple. There's a couple of turns and a couple of jumps, but there's nothing that special. The thing is, its simplicity makes its charm. There's nothing to prevent you from falling down at any point in the race, so you have to be extra careful, but then at the same time you want to finish first, so you want to hurry up. there are twumps that you must avoid, and they make the ground shake. It is a very fun track, period. Oh, and did I mention that it looks freaking fantastic in Mario Kart 8? Seriously, it's looking way better than any other Mario Kart tracks in this game, and the colors are simply gorgeous. I seriously hope this track comes back in every single future Mario Kart games. Well, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and a special thank you to Nathaniel Bandy for joining me in this epic Mario Kart quest. Now that you've seen the best retro tracks, you might wonder which tracks are actually the worst. Well, head over to Nathaniel Bandy's channel and you'll see the top 20 worst retro Mario Kart tracks. And guess who's in that video too? Yup, that's right, me. So head over there, subscribe and watch his videos, they're pretty cool. Okay, bye!